Okay, we're live.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our SOFA Social webinar tonight. This is our third installment of our SOFA Social for St. Joseph Regional. My name is Ryan Asselta. I'm the Director of Admissions and Marketing at St. Joe's, and I'm joined by a panel of experts tonight to help you with our latest topic. And our topics tonight are going to be curriculum and student services here at St. Joe's. We're all going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. I'm joined by Hillary Barnett from our admissions department, Dave Stoto, who's our head of curriculum, Arlene DiFiore, who's our director of guidance, and Mike Doherty, who is our ninth grade guidance counselor. As I said, my name's Ryan Asselta. I'm an alumni of St. Joe's back in 1994. And after spending the last 20 years in the world of TV broadcasting, I've returned home to St. Joe's, where I'm the director of admissions. And we are very much right in the middle of our admission season. And we're going to talk about a couple of key dates. One date that has changed we'll get to, and a couple other key dates that are coming up as well. Just going to go down the line and have our panel introduce themselves. Start with Mr. Stoto, ahead of our curriculum. Dave, why don't you tell our parents and families a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Stoto. I'm the assistant principal of academics. This is my 7th year at St. Joe's. I've been assistant principal for 5 years. Prior to that, I was a guidance counselor for 2 years. It's actually my 34th year in Catholic education. I was at another Catholic high school for 27 years. I was assistant principal and guidance director and guidance counselor there. So, and as I said, this is my 7th year at St. Joe's. I teach AP psychology as well as being the assistant principal. Welcome, everyone.
Great, thank you, Dave. And just as everyone sees as we go down the line here and get their questions ready, this is an interactive webinar. We rely on your questions, anything related to curriculum, some of the services for students, guidance, college prep and that college process, and anything admissions related, you can fire away in the Q&A box by clicking that and typing in your question, and we'll get to as many as you can. Arlene, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Arlene DiFiore. I've been at St. Joe's for 5 years. Prior to that, I was a guidance director at Ramapo High School in Franklin Lakes. And before that, I was the guidance program leader, testing program coordinator at Park Ridge School District. So I've been in the business for over 35 years.
Okay,
and
great.
At St. Joe's, I'm in charge of the guidance department and the testing responsibilities. So.
Okay. Next, we have Mike Doherty, who, along with being ninth grade guidance counselor, is also our head basketball coach and is happy to field any athletic questions. We had an athletics SOFA Social last week, but we're lucky to have Coach Doherty filling the role dual purposes tonight. So, Coach, why don't you tell them about yourself?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. As Ryan said, I'm Mike Doherty. This is my 35th year at St. Joe's, also a graduate of St. Joe's, class in 1982. And, very happy to be here tonight. As Ryan said, I am a member of the guidance department here at St. Joe's, working specifically with our current ninth graders, the class of 2024, something I'm very much enjoying. I also teach 2 senior English classes. Over the years at St. Joe's, worn a number of different hats, been involved in admission, has been involved administratively as assistant principal with academics and also discipline, and have taught theology and English over the years. I am the varsity basketball coach, and again, be glad to answer any questions anybody has for me tonight.
Great, thank you, Mike. And last but certainly not least, Hillary Barnett is from our admissions department here with us tonight as well.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I've been with St. Joe's for 9 years. I was in the performing arts for a bit, and now I'm in the admissions office. I also am responsible for our database, so any questions you have about the admissions process from a technological standpoint, what you cannot access on our portal, I'll be happy to help you with that.
Okay, great. So as we said, any of your questions that you have for us, you can put them right in the Q&A section of the Zoom at the bottom, and we'll get things started with those in just a second. Of note for you prospective families out there, I know many of you have come to see us at either of our 2 on-campus open houses that we had this fall that were So great to see you on campus and in person, which was fantastic. And also many of you have come to see us via our family tours that we've been giving. We've been fielding lots of questions and getting to know you as well. Many of you are going through the application process. Of note, to a little bit of a headline here, our admissions, our application deadline was December 1st. We've decided at St. Joe's to extend that deadline to December 14th. So December 14th is our new application deadline for the class of 2025. We are doing that to give families a little bit extra time during these crazy times in gathering some of the information that they need. Some of the letters of recommendation have been a little more difficult to come by this fall with a lot of different teachers and administrators in different places right now. We found that families are having a tough time gathering that, as well as getting some of our grades and transcripts from schools are taking a little bit longer this year. So December 14th will be our new application deadline. That also gives you a chance to come visit us if you haven't over the next few weeks. After Thanksgiving, we are running tours Monday through Thursday at 2:15, and you can book that online on our website as well to come get a personal tour, meet one of our ambassadors, and meet some of the faculty, coaches, and other students at St. Joe's. So December 14th is that new deadline. We have some questions coming in. I'd like to get started real quick with you, Mr. Stoto. If you can go through what it's like for a family who has been accepted to St. Joe's, has decided to enroll and come to St. Joe's, and now they go through the process of building their curriculum and putting together a schedule as a ninth grader. Can you tell families what that process will be like for them?
Sure, absolutely. So we typically will do our placement test in February or March. This year, obviously, may be a little bit different, but we're going to give a placement test to all registered students. From that, we will also look at all the students' grades and all of the testing we have. And we will place students into either a CP course, an accelerated course, an honors course, or if possibly in the Donnelly Scholars, there might be the option for an AP World History course. So it's based on a number of factors, and we're going to look at all those factors. And then I work with the parents on this because we've got students coming from 70 or 80 different schools. So every school maybe have a slightly different math program or a language program. So I'm always available to work with the parents and kind of say, okay, we want to try this, but not this. Maybe look at an honors class here, but maybe only accelerated or CP here. So a CP, basically, just to explain them, CP is college prep, and that's everything they need to be prepared for college. Then there's accelerated, which is slightly higher for students who want to challenge themselves a little bit more. Then there's the honors level. And finally, we did start this year an advanced placement world history course as part of our Donnelly Scholars. And that's a college level course. We have 11 freshmen in it right now, and it's a very intensive course. So it's possible for a student to be in an honors math, say, but maybe an accelerated or CP English if they feel that they're not as strong in that area. So as I said, I'm going to work with the parents through the spring and through the summer. What we want to do is we want to challenge each boy to do as well as he can without overwhelming him. So, we work as a team. We're a small enough school where I get to know all the freshman parents early on, and we're going to make whatever adjustments we need to make the schedule work.
And I'm just going to hop on what Mr. Stoto said there about working with the parents, and that's a common theme I know we've expressed to many of you out there on the type of personal attention that we provide at St. Joe's. That attention goes in the classroom, on the athletic field, also in our administrative offices, like the curriculum office, where, as Dave said, he works with the families in putting together the most appropriate schedule to challenge your son, but also have them set up for success as they come in as a freshman. All right, we've got a lot of questions already coming in. I'm going to start getting to those. Ian is asking, does SJR give athletic scholarships? I can get to that one very quickly. We do not give athletic scholarships at St. Joseph Regional. We do give a variety of different academic-based scholarships, but not athletic scholarships. And this year we are offering scholarship testing. So if a student is accepted, so the testing is after acceptance in January, you'll have the opportunity, if you're interested in pursuing one of our scholarships, to take that scholarship exam. And those dates are currently January 16th, January 20th, and January 23rd that you can pursue and academic-based scholarships, but we do not offer athletic scholarships. Jennifer has a question. How does SJR handle students with 504 plans and IEPs? Ms. DiFiore, that would be perfect for you to answer if you could.
Yes, we do handle students with both 504s or IEPs. In a Catholic school or a private school, an IEP is considered an individual student plan. So the letter changes from the E to an S, but it's the same thing in terms of accommodations that are made. Our special services comes through Bergen County Special Services, all right? So we are given a teacher from Bergen County that is full-time. His name is Mr. Fuchs. He's exceptional. And I've worked with many special ed teachers, and I consider him one of the finest that I've ever worked with in my career, which is quite a long career. And he takes the kids from 9th grade to 12th grade, depending on their needs. The students see him 5 days a week during the school day, or it could be after school, depending on the student's level of need. We do try to wean the students from 11th and 12th grade. They'll see Mr. Fuchs twice a week or every other day instead of every day, but it is built into their schedule. So that's the way the ISPs work. As far as the 504 works, they are not modifications, they're accommodations, typically extended time, small group, possibly a smaller group testing, preferential seating, things along those levels, which I'm sure are quite common to the kind of things that you receive in a public school setting with a 504, which is more of a medical diagnosis, ADHD, diabetes, or things along those lines, anxiety. Those are typically your 504 plans. The special learning needs are handled typically through your ISPs with Mr. Fuchs.
Okay, great. Thank you, Arlene. Another question coming in. How do you help students who aren't performing academically to their potential? Mr. Doherty, I'd like to direct that to you because you specialize with 9th graders. I'm sure you've already seen some 9th graders come in who are having a little tough time with the transition into high school from middle school and may not be performing to their potential. Tell me about some of the steps you guys take in the guidance department.
Right. Sure. There are a number of different paths to follow, and all with the design of creating a successful academic situation for the students. As you had said, Mr. Asselta, one of the neat things about St. Joe's that's really kind of built into what makes us successful is that we are not a huge school. We're not tiny, but we have, with just under 500 students, there's a built-in friendliness, a built-in familial atmosphere. And one of the great things that's not even a formal method of support is just that the teachers themselves are so accessible and so approachable. And so as a first line of defense, if you will, students are encouraged, of course, to see and speak with their classroom teachers. Built into our school day, if you will, although our school day ends at 1:56, all teachers are required to be in their classrooms after school, available for extra help or to answer a question from students until at least 2:35. Many teachers are here much later than that. No one's looking to run out the door. We all understand the importance of being there for the students. And so that is a built-in thing. And of course, no after-school activities, whether it be athletics or clubs, can begin before 2:45, so that the students understand that academics absolutely come first. But the teachers are there as a first line, and we want the students to do that, to have that interaction, because we want them to take ownership over their academic success. I'm another resource, seeing me and, our system of online grading and Genesis, we members of guidance are on that constantly, not in a big brother sort of way, but in a supportive way, to make sure that we're aware of seeing a student. If walking down the hall and I can say, "Hey, Connor, you're doing great. You're missing a big assignment in algebra. It seems to be dragging you down." And he might say, "Yeah, I'm on that." He might say, "Oh, I don't know. All right, I'll get that." Or he might say, I already took care of that." But that type of reinforcement with him lets him know that he's not alone, lets him know that we care, and also provides Connor or whoever I'm having to be talking with a resource if he's got a problem, to say, yeah, you know what, that's something that's been bothering me. I don't know how to fix that, and then we can help them. So you've got that. You know, there are a number of things. There's peer tutoring as well that can be arranged through our National Honor Society if students are, struggling. So, there are a number of different resources available for the students that a lot of times boil down to just helping them over these 4 years learn to be independent, learning to be successful, learning to be advocates for themselves, and learning how to succeed. As Mr. Stoto said, we've got students coming in from 70 plus different schools, all with different learning backgrounds, and our responsibility to the families and to the students is to help these guys become Catholic, college prepared young men. And I think that's something we've done very well and continue to do well to this day.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Moving on to the next question. Eileen is asking what foreign languages are offered and what levels of instruction are offered, honors, college level. Dave, do you want to take that regarding our foreign languages?
Absolutely. Yeah, so for the past, as far as I know, the past 10, 15 years, we've offered Spanish and French. In the past few months, our French teacher has decided to retire. So this year we're continuing the French for those students who have started it, but we're in the process of planning for the future and what we're going to do. So right now, I can't tell you what else besides Spanish we will be offering, but we're looking into options for next year to supplement Spanish. So right now, it's just Spanish for these current freshmen, but we obviously, it was a last minute change we had to make, so we're making adjustments to that. In terms of the level of courses, as I said before, we have the college prep and accelerated and honors in the language as well. And then for the students who go to advanced levels, we also have the AP, which is advanced placement, which is the type of course where a student would take a test at the end of the year and could get college credit depending on how well they do on that. So when they get to be juniors and seniors, they have the advanced placement option in language. They also have it in sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, English language, English literature, US history. We have the freshman world history, calculus. We also offer AP Gov is one of the courses, in AP psychology. Since I've taken over this job, we've added, I think, 4 or 5 AP courses to our curriculum, and we're trying to continue to supplement and make the upper level courses as challenging as possible. And again, that's just for those students who want that. Not every student wants the college level courses in high school, but we're offering that for those who do.
Okay. Mary Kate's next question. How many spots do you have for the freshman class? Mary Kate, I don't think there's a certain allotted number that we have in mind that we cut off at any point. Our classes vary from year to year. Ultimately, we like to have our classes in that 125 to 135, 140 at the most. That's an ideal number for us to have the type of learning environment that we pride ourselves on at St. Joe's. But those numbers do vary from year to year according to the amount of applications, the amount that are enrolled. And they've been kind of up and down over the last 30 years, I'd say, that I can remember seeing the sizes. But from a general sense, that's the range that we like to have our class size. That helps us have a student to teacher ratio of 12 to 1. And at the most, students, their biggest classes on regular days could be possibly 16, 17 at the most, but they don't get a whole lot bigger than that. Next question's coming in from Jackie. How many classes would a 9th grader have on their schedule? Are there any electives? If so, how many? I'll direct this to Dave. I do know that we have a 7-bell schedule, 7 periods in the school day for all of our students. And we currently have 27 electives available to our students throughout their time here at St. Joe's. But Dave, do you want to shed a little light more on the schedule and when electives become available for students to choose?
Sure. So all freshmen will be taking English 1, world history, a foreign language, theology, a math course, biology, And then we have a 1 semester STEAM course, which is a media arts kind of course where they're working with their Chromebooks and everything, how they're going to use that for the next 4 years. They'll have a semester of that, and then a quarter of phys ed and a quarter of health freshman year. So they have 7 courses. Each period is 40 minutes long. So we have a 7-day rotating schedule. So one day they're going to start with English, the next day they'll start with history, the next day they'll start with biology. So it rotates 40 minutes, but the 5th period class is an hour long. So every 7 days that class will meet for an hour. So for teachers who want to give an extended lab assignment or a larger test, something like that, it'll be a little bit longer. So freshman year, it's those 7 courses. When I mentioned math before, it could be algebra, it could be geometry, or it could be our integrated algebra geometry / course. Again, a lot depends on the math program students are coming in with. So in sophomore year, it's going to be the same basic schedule, except biology now becomes chemistry. And everything else, world history becomes US history, math becomes geometry or algebra 2. But again, it's those 7 courses. So they really, other than the language selection, the courses we're giving them are what they need, what colleges want. Colleges want to see the core courses. So we don't really give electives freshman, sophomore year because colleges want to see math, science, English, history, language. They want to see those core courses. Now, as they get to be juniors and seniors, they'll have 3 and 4 or 5 electives as they move on. And that's when they can take the advanced science courses, the advanced placement courses. That's when they get into the business program electives if they're interested in that. We've added a couple courses this year, which are co-curricular with Seton Hall University. So if students pass our course, they'll get Seton Hall University credit for taking those courses. We just started the program this year, and we started with honors economics, honors computer science, and AP US government history. And we want to continue to expand that. Basically, our teachers got certified as Seton Hall professors, so students can get that college credit while they're in high school. So, but it is going to be 7 courses for 4 years. We don't have study periods, and they're really the core courses that colleges want to see, because everything we're doing is college prep.
Right. Thanks, Dave. Our next question is from Mindy. It's an IEP question. How do we prepare the children with an IEP? Arlene, do you want to touch on that? I know you touched a little bit on the 504 and IEPs, but maybe some of the preparation that is done for some of the students?
Well, we do read over the IEPs. When we talked about the numbers that we admit, yes, there's not particularly a number that we're going to cut off on in terms of how many students we will admit to St. Joe's, but there is a definite number in terms of how many students we can accommodate in our special needs program, in our ISP program. So I would highly recommend that if you are interested, if you do need that program, that you do apply sooner rather than later, because once we fill our program, that's it. We can really not take anymore. We want to make sure that we give that special attention to those students. And so that class will not be oversubscribed with Mr. Fuchs. So how we prepare them, what Mr. Fuchs does in the classroom, besides studying organizational skills, many of the students really do have trouble with the organizing their work, making sure that their task is at hand. They know exactly what to do, how to streamline it. And also reinforcing, a lot of the students are in the same classes. They will end up reviewing for tests and doing things like that. So they do get a lot of support through our ISP program through Bergen County. So that's a very positive thing for the students. What they do, so you do know, in 9th grade, if they do have this program, they delay their world language, which is a gift, which is truly a gift to them, because the kids really do come in. And remember, everything is college prep level. We have all college prep courses. We have, low honors, which is the accelerated, and the high honors, the honors level. And then, of course, we go on to our AP levels. But it is a college prep program. So taking away that one academic is really a gift to them, because they could focus then on their English, their math, their science, their social studies, and their theology, kind of thing in their STEAM. So it really is a good thing. They're ready at 11th grade really to tackle that additional academic, giving them more time to prepare, to mature, to get their study skills down pat. So it works out really, really well. We're really pleased with the program.
Okay, great. Thank you, Arlene. Next question is from Luke. How do I get a scholarship from SJR? As I mentioned earlier, St. Joe's offers many different types of academic-based scholarships. This year, in order to qualify for a scholarship, you'll have to take our scholarship exam, and that is after acceptance in January. So if you are accepted to St. Joe's, you'd have the opportunity to register for our scholarship test, and you'd have one of three choices on dates on the ability to take that test. And that test will be about an hour long. It'll have math, some English, some writing on there. But you do have to take that test this year to be eligible for a scholarship at St. Joe's. Our next
Mr.
question.
Selta, I'm sorry, Mr. Selta, if I could just piggyback onto what you're saying, in answer to the scholarship question, because it's the second one we had, just to emphasize, there are two types of financial assistance that the school is able to provide. And as Mr. Asselta had said, merit-based scholarships, academic grants are one. The other one is need-based financial aid, very much like colleges do. And families who feel that they might qualify for need-based assistance, if you've got older children and you've gone through the FAFSA process with colleges, you know what I'm referring to. It's very similar. We have a company called FACTS, F-A-C-T-S, which is a tuition assistance management program. And you are able to, as a family, to apply for need-based financial aid through FACTS, and that's right on our school website as well. And so in addition to the academic possibility, we do have need-based. It is limited, but we do have need-based financial aid as well. And so I just wanted to make sure that families were aware of that and continue to research that information right on our website. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Our next question is from Ian. What class will I take if I have 9th grade algebra in 8th grade? Dave, what would Ian do as a 9th grader at St. Joe's in that situation?
Okay, so there are a couple options. Again, based on the placement test scores, we know that every school teaches algebra slightly differently. But based on the placement test scores, we're either going to put student into it's called an Algebra 1-2 honors course, which kind of reviews everything because they've all come from different programs. It's going to review the first part of the year, all of the algebra they should know, and then move into Algebra 2. So that's one option. The other option would be going up to a geometry, whether it's a geometry accelerated or a geometry honors course.
Okay, great. Rocco's next question is regarding busing. If you stay for extracurricular activities, is there late busing? Mr. Doherty, you could probably help a little bit with this when it comes to the extracurricular. I know each town is different when it comes to busing. We do try to be creative in setting up some joint bus stops in certain areas if we have a heavy population of SJR students. And of course, if you're coming from Rockland County, busing is provided for you. But when it comes to extracurriculars and busing, Coach Doherty, what can you tell us about that?
Right. Pretty much non-existent, not to be a downer on this one, but in almost all cases, if you are staying for an extracurricular activity, whether it be a club, an intramural sport or an interscholastic athletic program, more times than not, you're going to have to arrange your own ride home. Now, again, things can change from year to year, but there are, Mr. Asselta mentioned in Rockland County that there's direct free busing to and from school, in the morning and then at the end of the school day. There are a couple of school districts, the East Ramapo School District in particular, that does provide an activity bus around 4:30 Monday through Thursday each day. And there are a couple of other Rockland County districts that have in the past also accommodated an activity bus if there was a need. So basically, if the school contacted the North Rockland district and said, hey, we need an activity bus on these days because we have 5 guys looking for a ride home. If that was the situation, they've been very accommodating there. But in general, for New Jersey, certainly not. If you live in New Jersey, sorry about that. And in most cases, you're going to need to provide your own transportation following the end of an afternoon activity.
The one thing I'll add to that is what's nice about St. Joe's is our campus really doesn't close after school. So students who do have an activity after school, a club or a practice or a rehearsal or something of that sort, there's always things going on in the building, and there's always a place for that student to be if they do need to wait for a ride for a little while till mom and dad get out of work to come pick them up before they are able to drive themselves or something like that. It's a pretty active campus throughout most of the afternoon and quite early into the evening as well. So sometimes we see a lot of students who may have had practice and then they're waiting for a ride and they're just catching up on some homework or studying at a quiet place in school until their ride's available to come get them. So that's kind of a nice thing for some of those students that do have to wait. We have a question from Mike, and Mike, I was hoping you were going to be on here tonight since I saw your question in email just prior to our webinar. Your question is, what is the percentage of students previously coming from Catholic schools, and are most students practicing Catholics? The percentage, and after talking to my sources prior to the webinar, it seems to be almost split, a little bit leaning towards maybe 55, 60% Catholic schools, 40% public schools. We have had quite a push from public schools the last few years with many Catholic schools in the area closing. But when your question comes to, are most students practicing Catholics, I want to send this to Mr. Doherty just because he's been on campus and been a member of the Green Knights community for almost 40 years now. We do have a diverse community, but Catholicism, our service program, is a very big part of the curriculum at St. Joe's, and an aspect of everyday life around St. Joe's. Isn't that right, Coach?
Yes. In answer to the question, are the majority of our students practicing Catholics? Yes. But as Mr. Asselta said, one of the neatest things, and as I said at the beginning, not only am I a graduate of St. Joe's, but I've been here for the last 35 years. And one of the neatest things about our community is that we are men of faith, and we're men of all different faiths. Yes, we are a Catholic high school, but we are respectful and appreciative of the tremendously diverse backgrounds that all of our students have. The one main common thing we have is we're all St. Joe's guys. We're all Green Knights. But yes, we have students of Jewish faith. We have students of Islamic faith. We have Hindu students who have been at St. Joe's, and so we have students who are Catholic or other Christian, denominations, and that's the neat thing about the St. Joe's community, that we all come together, we learn from one another, and we are respectful of all that each of these faiths have to offer and to shine upon doing God's work.
And the students have the ability.
About it, coming from a public school and going to a Catholic environment, at 5 years ago, it was very evident that there was something very special, about the school, in that, you start the day with a prayer, you start the class with a meditation or a prayer or whatever you're doing. It just adds such a wonderful tenor, just a wonderful tone. Very difficult to do things that are not acceptable when you start a day with a prayer, if you follow what I'm saying. It's just something very special, and regardless of the level of commitment to their faith or to the Catholic religion, I think the fact that the moral upstanding character of the students really does come through, and that's what I think is the most important thing that we're trying to impress upon students, that their caliber, of their integrity, and how important that is in life, and how important ethics and values and those kind of things, and that really does shine through and with our boys, and that's what I really am most impressed with.
And I'll
And I
just
will
add to
say,
that.
I'm sorry, I just want
I
to
was
say,
just going to say real quick, to add to that, that each student has a chance to further their exploration of their faith while they're at St. Joe's. We do offer mass every Friday morning in our chapel. Our chapel is always open for students to pop in if they want to go in there for 5 minutes to clear their heads, say a prayer. Maybe they have something going on at home that's on their mind. That's always available. We do have class-wide mass, usually at least once a month, that goes on for all of our students, as well as getting involved in our campus ministry program, which is very, very active and a very big part of our community at St. Joe's. So there are many opportunities to explore that. Hillary, did you want something to add on that?
yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Arlene, for that. Just to let everyone know that the students actually lead those prayers in the morning. They are student-led prayers, and students have the opportunity to sign up to do that. So that makes it even more special for the student body.
Yeah, and remember that theology is a mandatory course. Every year, theology is a required course within the curriculum. It's just like in English and math, the science and social studies. Well, we did away with the phys ed in 11th and 12th grade and made it more of an elective program for students, so students could replace that with an additional academic course to enhance their transcripts. Theology is very much alive and present and very much an important course in terms of the students here, and they understand it to be as important to them as any other academic program, the same expectations.
All right, Ian had a question about our school day. What time does SJR dismiss school on a regular day? Hillary, were looking to hop on that one?
No, I actually was going to answer it. I was going to write you, Ian, so that
Okay. Well, our school day ends at 1:55 is our final, our last bell of the day, which is pretty great because you get, as Coach Doherty mentioned earlier, practices don't start till 2:45 at the earliest. So students do have a chance after school at that last bell to visit a teacher if they need extra help, find a spot in the media center for a half hour to catch up on some homework. A nice day out, go out in the courtyard and study for an exam you have the next day for a little while before you then go on to your extracurricular activities. Our next question is from Jackie. Can Coach Doherty talk about the basketball program? Is there a freshman team, a JV team, and obviously a varsity team? Coach, just want to tell Mrs. Delatorre about the structure of the basketball program?
Sure, be glad to. Yes, we do have 3 different levels within the program, and as do almost all of the athletic programs at St. Joe's offer freshman, JV, and varsity levels. Basketball offers a freshman program, JV, and varsity, and we think that that's extremely important. You know, we stress the importance of providing opportunities for the guys to grow academically, spiritually. They're certainly going to grow physically through the years, and extracurriculars are an important part of that growth process. And so we believe that being able to offer the freshmen their own team, typically we'll keep around 15 freshmen on the freshman team. We'll keep between 12 and 15 on the JV, and we'll keep about between 12 and 15 on the varsity as well. So we are fortunate that we've had a great deal of success in recent years and over the years at St. Joe's. So the guys who are part of the program, I think, can look forward to being competitive, to having some success on the court. But most importantly, we want the guys to have positive experiences, growing with one another in a common shared goal. And I think that that's the point of all of our interscholastic athletic programs, the idea of doing things the right way, because whatever sport the guys are involved in, whatever club, it says St. Joseph on their shirts, and we want to always represent what it means to be a St. Joe's guy in the very best way.
And just to hop on that, since I was one of the members of Coach Doherty's teams many, many years ago, that pride is real. We take pride in the program that Coach Doherty developed. Coach Doherty was my head coach back in the 90s. He played, obviously, for the Green Knights when he was a student. He's gone on to have such great success as eclipsed 500 wins, was the Bergen County champs. But the bond that his teams and his players form is very strong. And it's an example of the bond and the brotherhood that we've talked about overall at the school. Many of my teammates are still some of my best friends, and that began during my time in Coach Doherty's basketball program. So I just wanted to add that. Next question is from Jennifer. Are the parents supposed to submit their 504 plans and their ISP programs when applying, or is the current school supposed to submit it with the transcripts? My experience so far, and Coach Doherty and Arlene could probably hop on as well, I've seen both this year. I've seen the IEP plans come over as part of the transcripts from schools. I have seen parents who have those plans at their disposal have uploaded them. From a traditional sense, Arlene or Mike, whichever one of you want to hop in on this, what is the easiest way for us to get those plans from parents?
It really is a combination. We just need the information and in as timely a fashion as possible. If parents are capable of and empowered to get that information directly to us, then please do so. We certainly, will welcome the information from schools, but schools are not going to release that information to us. If we ask, they will release it to us if the parent asks. So the parents are an important part of this process, and whether or not it's the parents requesting directly from their son's current school to send it to St. Joe's, or if the parents have a copy and they want to email it or mail it directly to us, we're good either road.
I think the best thing to do if you can is to upload it to that portal. That's the best place to put it. Do not worry so much. If you in fact did not get a new IEP, if you're in for a reevaluation this year, but it's not going to be until the end of the year, send us what is in place right now. We can always get the updated IEP at a later date. It's not going to change all that much. So why don't, so if you could just hand us or submit the latest IEP that you presently have and that your child is working with, that would be a wonderful thing for us to have in the portal.
Absolutely want to echo that. Utilizing the admissions portal through school admin is absolutely the very best way for parents or for the information to be submitted to us.
So I just want to say a couple of things here. So we keep going back and forth and talking about the portal and school admin. Just to be clear, school admin is the hosting company, but it is your SJR parent portal. And again, if you have on your application identified that your student has an IEP or an ISP or 504, then you will see the ability to upload that IEP on your portal. If you did not answer that question with a yes, that will not populate. So if you need to change that, then you just have to give me a call and we'll be able to change that within your portal.
Okay, our next question is from Beth. To continue on the foreign language topic, is there a placement test for foreign language? Dave, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So there is a placement test for those who are interested. It's not a mandatory placement test. Most students want to start a language new in Spanish 1 or French 1, as it was. So they're going to start with that. We have had students who want to take a placement test if they want to move up to Spanish 2. So I would say typically we have 3 or 4 students each year who avail themselves of that opportunity. So it is available for those students who want to, go up to that level at first.
Okay, great. We have another question coming in. So the college credits that Arlene had, or I believe Dave actually referred to earlier, the college credits will only be good at Seton Hall, or can they be used at any accredited college or universities? I know, Arlene, you had something you wanted to respond to that.
Yeah, you have to understand that every college handles things differently, even AP courses. Well, AP courses, you can generally say, hey, if I get a 3, 4, or 5 on an AP test, the college will accept that course. That could be true, it may not be true. Sometimes, regardless of what AP score you get, you have to retake their calculus course on the college level, depending on your major. Some colleges will accept a 4, others will accept a 3. Same thing with any of the dual enrollment classes, whether they be from Syracuse or Seton Hall or Fairleigh Dickinson. It's going to be up to the individual colleges. in terms of will they accept the credit. Generally speaking, they will accept them, even if it's not within the department. It's going to be as free elective credits. Keep in mind, when you're paying for college, you're generally paying for a semester of courses anyway. You know, if you get enough credits to eliminate yourself from one semester, then that's another story. But generally speaking, what's great about these is that you're demonstrating to colleges that you are capable of doing college level coursework, whether that be through AP or through the dual enrollment courses. So on your applications to college, a question is, have you been involved in dual and college level courses? Have you taken college courses while in high school? And having this SHU, Seton Hall University opportunity, you can certainly say, yes, you have, and what courses that you have in fact taken. And it looks very good on a college application, as well as having that experience of a college level course, being in more of a lecture directed course and more independent work. So
when we're on the topic of colleges, Arlene, I want to ask you to maybe tell the families about that process, the college process that begins with you. I know Dave talked about earlier that he's very involved with the parents when building the curriculum. I know the parents and the family have a role in that college process with you. And when does that begin for the students at St.
well,
Joe's?
it actually begins with Mr. Doherty on the 9th grade level. When our students come in, the goal is that they are going to be going to college, to be going to be able to have as many choices as they possibly could on the college level. So that is why the monitoring of our students is very important, because what's going to be the most significant is going to be, in fact, the grades that they receive. You know, early on, the grades do not go away. Of course, it looks good to have a trajectory and an upward trajectory. However, 9th grade counts. It's not middle school anymore, so everything does count. And Mr. Doherty makes that very perfectly clear, and he monitors the students beautifully in terms of if they are floundering, why? Do we need to relook at their schedule? Maybe they're not placed correctly. Let's make a change. Let's do what we can do. And because of the size of our school and our constant monitoring of our students, we're able to really take a hard look at that and say, hey, what's best for the student? Let's put him in the best situation possible. Like Mr. Stoto said before, because a student's an honors level class student does not mean that they may be honors in all areas. And maybe the honors in all areas is going to be too rigorous, and we don't want the transcript to suffer as a result. So we're looking at it holistically, and we're going to do what's best for that student, collaboratively with parents involved in the discussion. Okay, so it really starts very early on, and it goes from there until 10th grade. We have a meeting with every grade level in terms of what's important on each grade level and what we should be doing and what the goal is, and the testing and the responsibilities and the career exploration, as well as the focusing on possible majors and strengths and interests. And, you know, going along that, we have a wonderful tool in guidance, which is called our Naviance program, which the students are already on in 9th grade. They're already starting to develop a resume, which is so important. They're beginning to really understand the importance of grades and curriculum and rigor and GPA. So all of that comes into, that clicks in very early on, and it just continues. I will say that you know, in this time of COVID, it was a godsend that we do things as early as we do, and we prepare students as early as we do, because many of our students have already submitted applications, and that is because we've really done a great job junior years with having individual meetings with the parents. Students have a really good idea in terms of what their schools are, their listing of schools, their reach schools, their safe schools, their target schools. They have a real good idea about where they're going to apply. Many of our students attend our summer college essentials program, where we actually work on the college application with them. We actually have them requesting their letters of recommendation from their teachers and doing all of those things that are necessary to get the process. So to be perfectly honest, you know, it is not even December, and probably about 65% of our students have already applied to college, and by Christmas we'll have just about everyone will have their applications in. And I just, thankfully we were ahead, because not having the kids here every day and not having that accessibility as easily really hasn't slowed us down with the Zoom meetings and everything else we're getting them through. So we're proud of that. It's a lot of work, but we're really moving right along. So that's a good thing. I hope
Thank
that
you,
answers.
Arlene. We have a question coming in from Anita. As far as the forms that's needed for transcripts, we submitted to the school, and my child just asked his school, and those forms haven't been sent out. Will this delay his application? His school stated that they are not sure when they will be sending them. That's been a common theme this fall. I think with everything going on, Anita, many of the schools are a little slower to get us our transcripts. Some have different marking period dates. Some are trimesters, some are quarterly. The ones that are on trimesters tend to end in early December and get us theirs a little bit later that we're aware of. Because of things like this fall, though, like I had said, we are extending our application deadline by 2 weeks to December 14th. I'd encourage you, Anita, to email me directly and let me know which town you're from, so that we can be aware of delay in getting some of those transcripts from that particular school or school district. But my email address is asselta.r, and that's at sjrnj.org. Just shoot me an email and I can help you with that offline. Another question coming in. Your top 10% students who are heavy focused academically, which colleges do they end up at? And can you talk about the process, please, and how soon they start taking AP classes? Kind of multi-tiered question here. I'd start with Mr. Stoto on the back end of that. How soon do students start taking AP classes?
Okay, so the Donnelly Scholars, the program we just started this year, are taking AP World History as freshmen. So we've always offered World History. This year we're offering an Advanced Placement World History for the students really in that top 10% group. Sophomore year, US History is a 2-year course. So the students taking AP US History will take it sophomore year and junior year. And then, so there'll be one freshman year, one sophomore year, and then junior year, you have AP US, AP English Language, and one of the AP Sciences could be biology, chemistry, it could be AP Government, depending on the student's interests. So up to 3 or 4 during junior year, and possibly AP Calculus as a junior. And in senior year, again, is AP English Literature, it could be an AP Language, could be AP Gov, AP Psych. So again, 4 or 5 options as a senior year. So those students right now, I know you mentioned the colleges. I can tell you right now, we have a student on every Ivy League campus except Yale. Since I've been here, I don't know anyone who's actually applied to Yale for my time in guidance or in this job now, but we do have a student on every other Ivy League campus. We've got students at Boston College, Villanova, Duke, Notre Dame, University of Virginia, the big state schools as well. So that's where that top 10% end up going typically. I guess, I don't know if there's another part of the question you want to.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And Arlene, if you want to hop on that from a guidance perspective in college placement, some of the more successful top tier students, some of the schools they're ending up at, and some of some of your experience in getting some of those students into some of those institutions.
Yeah, our students have a lot of good choices. Sometimes it's it's financially, they have to take that into consideration as well. You're talking $60,000 and $70,000 price tags on some of these schools. So it's one thing getting in, it's another thing paying for those schools. So it's we get school kids into just about every school imaginable. We're very proud of our acceptances. Our kids do well. They have a lot of great practice. We practice with them in terms of their interviews with alumni representatives from schools, with college representatives. We have college reps that come into our schools. We have over 100 college reps that come over to see our students every year. Unfortunately, this year it's all been virtual, but we do have just naming the colleges that will come over just shows the interest that they have in our schools. Of course, we're big with the Catholic schools. I will tell you that the Providences, the Villanovas, the Boston Colleges, the Fairfields, the Sacred Hearts. I mean, we are a Catholic institution. They are interested in our kids. They know what kind of kids that are coming from St. Joe's. They know their success rate. So it's the Fordhams, and that, there are schools that are very popular with our students. But whether it be University of Michigan or UVA, or, we get students in everywhere. It depends on what they're looking for, their major, and their test scores, of course, are important as well. So it's a process. It's a very different process than, people will say, I don't remember all of the stress when I had to go and apply to college. It's a very different process now. It's very competitive. And, there's a lot of very bright students from Northern Bergen County. We're not living in Iowa, where, it's going to be much easier to get into a Princeton or a Yale or a Harvard. You're competing with some of the brightest students, in this area of the country. And we're holding our own in a very big way. So we're very proud of our boys.
Okay, great. Before we wrap things up, if anyone has any last questions, now would be the time to post those. I'm just going to run down a couple key dates that are coming up in our admissions process. As many of you know, we are accepting applications right now, and that can be done online in the same portal that many of you have registered for our open houses and our tours. That's on through our website as well. That application process can begin. Our application new deadline is December 14th. So that gives you a couple more weeks. There's a few weekends in there to get your young men to get those writing samples done. I've had a lot of conversations with parents this week saying, I'm ready to have my application. I just need to get my son to write his essay. Well, you can hunker down on the next couple weekends and make sure they get that done by December 14th. Acceptances go out in mid-January, and then we will offer scholarship testing immediately after that. There will be registration available for that we'll have up on our website, and everyone will be notified about that. Those dates again are January 16th, January 20th, and January 23rd, where testing will be available, and you have to pick one of those dates. And we do have one more event coming up next week. This is our SOFA Social edition number 4 and our final edition of the fall. And that's our parent-to-parent SOFA Social webinar. We're going to have parents on board to field your questions from parents. So parents of current students, parents of alumni, parents of athletes, parents of students who are involved in other aspects of life, whether that be campus ministry, performing arts, other clubs. They're going to be able to answer those parent-driven questions, and not only about parent involvement while your son's at St. Joe's, but also some of the parents' experiences that their sons have had at St. Joe's from a parent perspective. So we're looking forward to that. That is Monday, November 30th at 7 p.m. And you have to register the same way you did tonight for that. We have one more question coming in here. It's from Jennifer. When are financial aid applications due by? We don't have a set date, but we do prefer to have those financial aid applications coming in by our general application deadline. And that's through the FACTS website that Mr. Doherty spoke about earlier tonight. You can submit all of your financial information. There's also a section on there called narrative, where you can explain any situations that you have going on. Maybe something has changed since your 2019 tax year. Obviously 2020 has been quite different for many families. That's the place where you could share that story with us and explain what is going on and why things may be looking a little bit different for you. But December 14th is the deadline for all of our application material, and that would be financial aid through the FACTS website as well. Got to that. So again, December 14th is our new application deadline. It looks like we're right up to 8 o'clock, which is great. We've made it a full hour, and we appreciate all of your great questions. I think we really had a widespread array of different topics and questions, and I know there was a ton of information available. Just remember, we are all available to you. If you need to contact us any further, follow up on any questions. All of our email addresses are available on the website. Mr. Stoto, Mr. Doherty, Mrs. DiFiore. Hillary and myself are available to answer your questions as you're going through the last few weeks of this process and getting ready to get those applications in. So we thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks to Dave, Mike, Arlene, and Hillary. And we hope to see your applications coming into St. Joe's real soon. And we hope to see you on campus soon as well. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.